Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth, and we're at the end of August, so of course, it's exactly the right time for me to tell you what my favorite books of the year so far have been. I've got three sets of books to talk about, so let's go see what they are. Like I said, I have three sets of books to talk to you guys about today, and that is because there are now three of us. Unfortunately, Elena could not be in the video today because she is at school, and I didn't want to wait. So she did tell me what her favorite books are so far for the year. But before we get to hers, we're going to talk about the babies. Now, obviously, she's not even 2 weeks old. She's right at 2 weeks old. So she's kind of at the mercy of her mama and her big sister. But we do have a couple of baby books we've been reading to her that she seems to enjoy. She at least doesn't scream, spit up, or go to sleep while we're reading them to her. So I take those as good signs. The first one is my favorite, and that is the Pride and Prejudice, retold by Stephanie Clarkson. This is a baby lit storybook, and it's just the basic story boiled down into a board book. And I absolutely adore the way the artwork is done. I love this story. Obviously, it is one of my favorite all time stories. So, getting to share that with both of my girls in this format just makes me super happy, and both of them seem to enjoy it. The next one, Elena loves to read to her baby sister, and that is Paw Patrol Pups at Play. We found it at the thrift store, and we've tried to clean it up as best we could, but the baby doesn't chew on it or anything, so there you go. But it's just a story about the Paw Patrol, and the girls like to sit together and read it, and then we watch some Paw Patrol, and everybody seems to be happy. Next, we have another of my favorites. This is Little Master Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes and the Hound of Baskervilles. It is a sound primer by Jennifer Adams, another baby lit book. This is art by Alison Oliver, and I just love this book. Hounds howl, thunder rumbles, etc. And then finally, baby lit primer, classic lit from A to Z. So it's an ABC's book with gorgeous artwork talking about different amazing classic literature characters and books. So those are what I'm attributing to the baby for her current favorite books. Next we have Elena's. Now I'm not counting rereads on mine. So one of my two 5-star reads for the year is actually a reread, but is also one of Elena's 5-star most favoritist books ever for 2019. And I get to count it towards her favorites. That is Anne of Green Gables. We listened to the audiobook, and I really thought that she wasn't going to be interested or that she would, hate it at the ending. She absolutely adores it. This is my bind up of Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne's House of Dreams. Now, keep in mind that Elena just turned 7 a couple of days ago. She has been slowly rereading this in physical format, kind of dips her toes in and out of it, but she's been rereading it, and she'll come and tell me, Mom, I just sat down and read a couple more pages for Anne of Green Gables, and, we did this part of the story or whatever. So I know she's actually rereading it, and I'm so proud of her. It's her favorite story of the year so far. Next, we've got another book that was a reread of mine. It has stuck with me, but would not have made my favorites list. It did, however, make hers. That is Parker Belle and the Science of Friendship. Now, that is Parker Belle. That is her best friend Cassie, and that is Theo. Now, Parker, it's never said if she is autistic or, whatever in the book, but she is definitely non-neurotypical. She doesn't really make friends, and she and Cassie have been best friends, and that's all she ever thought she needed. She loves science. She loves Cassie. She doesn't need anybody else. And then her school announces a science triathlon, and Cassie has made friends with Theo, And so Theo joins their group, and the three of them are going to be working together for the science triathlon. And Parker has to learn to deal with Theo, learn to deal with other people. And it's a great book. I really enjoy it. And Elena absolutely loved it. So there's a lot about science and strong scientific women in this book, which is fabulous. And then we have the Scooby Doo and You um, Collect the Clues mystery series. This is the case of the Angry Alligator. We have three of these books that we have read. This is the third one. We're reading it currently. But there's a whole series of these books, and basically it's classic Scooby Doo mysteries that they've turned into books, and you find the clues and the suspects, and you whittle down yourself. You get a piece of paper and you keep all the clues and you try to figure out the mystery. Elena loves mysteries and she loves Scooby Doo, so this was an amazing find, and I'm definitely getting more of these books. She adores them, that's why they're on her favorites list. And then a couple of honorable mentions. The first one being the Kylie Jean series. We started it last year. We haven't read all of them yet. There's a bunch. For her birthday, I got her the Kylie Jean cookbooks. There are three of them, and I got them for her. She's super excited about them. But this series we just continue to love and reread, so she wanted me to mention those. And we've only read the first one in this series, but she wanted me to mention Amelia Bedelia. This is the kind of middle school or children's chapter, but Amelia Bedelia is in fourth grade, I believe, in these. So those are Elena's favorite books of the year so far. I almost forgot the Whatever After series by Sarah Milnowski. We finished the whole thing this year and are anxiously awaiting the next install. And then we have me. So the only 5-star read that I have for the year that is a new read is Aisha at Last. I did a whole review on this book. I chatted about it. This is a Muslim Canadian retelling of Pride and Prejudice, a modern Muslim Canadian retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and it blew me away. This is by Uzma Jalaluddin, I believe is how you pronounce that name, and it's absolutely beautifully written, really well done. I enjoyed it immensely. It is enough like the original story to draw you in, but it definitely has a lot of differences, and that made me very happy because it is its own story. It does not stand on retelling everything that's in Pride and Prejudice, but it does give you just enough of a taste to give you that, well, to give me that warm, fuzzy feeling that comes when I read Pride and Prejudice. I also have my favorite picture book of the year. That is Crossing Bokchido by Tim Tingle. Now, admittedly, Crossing Bokchido is a reread for me, but I just bought the picture book, so I'm counting it as a new read because I've only read it in his kind of essay short story format from the book Walking the Choctaw Road, which I will be using in my Native American unit with my students, except we are going to be using the picture book because picture books are always fun. I don't care how old you are. All right, and then I've got a few books that have stuck with me, but I don't have them to hold up for you. So now we're going to go to images and voiceover. If I can do it correctly, wish me luck. Camilla de Mao's The Beautiful Strangers only garnered about a 4-star from me, but it has stuck with me as a poignant example of finding yourself, finding your history, and finding love. The Likeness is the second in Tana French's Dublin Murder Squad series, and I gave it about 4 stars. It has stuck with me all year, just like the first book did. It is crime mixed with friendship, passions, human life, and kind of the question of who we are versus who we could have been had things been different. And then finally, we have the Pip Bartlett series by Jackson Pierce and Maggie Stiefvater. This follows Pip, who is a young girl who can speak to magical creatures. Most people don't believe that she has the ability, but she still manages to get into scrapes and help these creatures out anyway. It's delightful. So those are all of our favorite books so far this year. I'm sure that there will be at least a couple more for me to talk to you about at the end of the year. We've got 3.5 months left after all. But until that happens, I would love to hear what you thought about these books if you've read them, if you want to read them, what your favorite books of the year so far have been. I realize I'm about 2 months late with this video, but I'm never on time for anything anyway, so what does it matter really? Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if you think the baby's cute. And subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.